What is this?
On the morning of May 5th, 2021, Stephen Hendrickson was driving his Tesla Model 3 to work. His car was in autopilot as he drove through Fontana, California. At about 2:30 a.m., an overturned semi-truck appeared in front of him. Moments later, he was killed. The 35-year-old left behind his wife and 2 kids. This crash is one of more than 1,000 that Tesla has submitted to federal regulators since 2021, the details of which have been hidden from the public. Video and data gathered from these crashes by the Wall Street Journal shows that Tesla's heavy reliance on cameras for its autopilot technology, which differs from the rest of the industry, is putting the public at risk.
Okay, hold on. Don't... I know it's hard to do this, okay? And I don't even like doing this. Maybe I'll change all my advice on this because the world, okay? But don't be cringe on the other side, okay? Had to come back just to say the energy 10 minutes into this TAF episode is great. Destiny deadpanning while Adam mumble freestyle is awesome. Maybe that wasn't even a negative comment. Listen, all the people on the other side that are cringing and saying that like, oh, Adam is destroying Destiny, blah, 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 is cringe. But also like, I didn't destroy Adam either. It was a fun show. We went and we sat down and he is a funny goofer. Okay, and I could be a funny goofer, and it was just a fun show. Please don't read more into it than that. There's nothing more. It wasn't a battle of wits or who can mindfuck who or who secretly disgusted more. It was a goof and a fun show. That's it, okay? Nothing more than that. Make fun of anybody that says any differently. Don't fight on the other end of it. Make fun of people who argue differently, okay? Okay.
Since 2021, the details of which have been hidden from the public. Video and data gathered from these crashes by the Wall Street Journal shows that Tesla's heavy reliance on cameras for its autopilot technology, which differs from the rest of the industry, is putting the public at risk. Teslas operating in autopilot have been involved in hundreds of crashes across U.S. roads and highways since 2016. Over the years, Tesla CEO Elon Musk has maintained the technology is safe.
I do think that long-term it can reduce accidents by a factor of 10.
We're solving just a very important part of AI and one that can ultimately save millions of lives and prevent tens of millions of serious injuries.
The safety per mile is better than human driving.
Leading expert on autonomous driving, Missy Cummings, who's been critical of Tesla, warned of the risks of semi-autonomous vehicles in 2016.
There is no question that someone is going to die in this technology. The question is when.
Cummings has also worked as a safety advisor for the federal regulator, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or NHTSA.
I am besieged with requests from families of people who have been killed in Tesla crashes. It's really tough to explain to them that, you know, this is the way the tech was designed.
Since 2021, NHTSA has launched a series of investigations into autopilot. They've released little information about them, and the cars remain on the road. Also in 2021, NHTSA ordered car makers to report all serious crashes involving semi-autonomous driving systems like autopilot. But much of the data Tesla submitted has been hidden from public view because the company considers it proprietary. To unlock it, the journal gathered reports from individual states and matched them with the crash data Tesla submitted to NHTSA, and found that long-standing concerns about the autopilot technology are showing up on America's roads. Of the 1,000-plus crashes Tesla submitted so far, the journal pieced together 222 and found that 44 of them occurred when Teslas in autopilot veered suddenly. 31 occurred when a Tesla in autopilot failed to stop or yield for an obstacle in front of it. Orlando, Florida, a Model 3 drove into the back of a stopped police car that was attending to a disabled vehicle. Guadalupe County, Texas, a Model 3 plowed through an intersection and off the road. These failure to stop crashes, like the one that killed Stephen Hendrickson, account for the most serious injuries and deaths in the cases the journal unlocked.
I had to hang up the phone and look at both my kids as they're crying, and they're telling me to tell them it's not true, that their dad was in a car accident and he won't be coming home.
Tesla has said drivers operating in Autopilot need to be ready to take control at all times. They say Steven Hendrickson was warned to keep his hands on the wheel 19 times before he crashed.
Damn.
And that his car initiated braking before impact. But whether or not a driver is alert, it's important to know how Autopilot performed, and that can only be seen through the large amounts of internal video and data Teslas record. The journal obtained video and partial data from the Hendrickson crash and asked experts to analyze it.
The kind of things that tend to go wrong with these systems are things like it was not trained on the pictures of an overturned double trailer. It just didn't know what it was. There were some lights there, but the lights were in unusual positions. A person would have clearly said something big is in the middle of the road. But the way machine learning works is it trains it on a bunch of examples. And if it encounters something it doesn't have a bunch of examples for, it may have no idea what's going on.
Experts say this illustrates a fundamental flaw in the Autopilot technology. It relies mainly on cameras or computer vision, with radar as a backup in some models.
Other driving assist cars, they have radar, computer vision, and LiDAR, laser ranging, that kind of helps you detect obstacles. But the LiDAR is very expensive.
Expensive sensors that are unnecessary. It's like having a whole bunch of expensive appendices.
Instead, Tesla's camera-based system relies on humans to train it on obstacles it may encounter.
Even though people think these cars are learning while they're driving, they're not. They're only learning at the rate that the companies are deciding to retrain the algorithms.
So I'm going to turn Autopilot on right now. I just pull my finger down like that one time. And as you can see on the screen, the visualizations have started.
John Bernal is a former Tesla employee who was fired in 2022 after posting videos of Autopilot failures. Tesla has not commented publicly on his dismissal.
So as we go through this downtown, you'll see a lot of cars being visualized, just, kind of on the side of the road being parked. You'll see pedestrians walking the sidewalk. Originally started at Tesla in August 2020 as a data annotation specialist. That role primarily relied on me taking image data and labeling it to train the technology on what a car was, what a pedestrian was, maybe an animal, a lane line, or what a red light was. That way with this...
Not trying to be a Tesla or Elon Musk defender here, but the difference between autopilot and full self-driving is very significant, and the rate of change of full self-driving is such that a video like this might be relevant for those instance/versions, but not relevant to the current versions. Okay, this is a 49-minute-old video. I don't know. Okay. Some people can say that, so for instance, you're warned to keep your hands on the wheel or whatever, and that's fine. But people are probably, when they're buying these cars and when they're operating the autopilot, they're not really operating it that way. The use case for a consumer is probably to operate it to where they're treating it like it's full autopilot, right? Or full self-driving, or whatever the fuck. It's probably how people are behaving with it, and you have to be aware of how a consumer is interacting with the thing, right?
Image data training, the vehicle would then know how to operate in a real-world situation when that data came through the cameras and through the car's computer. The car has 8 cameras, specifically 3 right here in the front. And so as that truck just went across us, it's actually going through the plane of multiple different cameras. And one...
Maybe a stupid question, but if you have to keep your hands on the wheel, what's the point? Just drive. Anytime you're wondering why there's a rule or regulation and you don't understand it, the answer is probably liability. Because if they tell you that you need to keep your hands on the wheel and it's your responsibility, well, if the car crashes, it's not their fault, it's your fault.
Camera, it may have looked perfectly on the ground and centered, but another camera, it could have been 6 feet ahead or 6 feet behind, or maybe 5 feet floating in the air. And those are things I've noticed while labeling these image clips, is that these cameras are not calibrated properly. And so what looks true in one camera will not be true in another camera.
If the cameras aren't seeing the same thing, they can encounter significant challenges identifying obstacles. We can see this in an autopilot crash similar to Steven Hendrickson's near Los Angeles in 2021. The journal obtained a rare set of raw data for the Tesla in this crash from an anonymous hacker. When a crashed pickup truck becomes visible on the road, one of the car's cameras sees it, but the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer, the Tesla doesn't recognize it, and it crashes at full speed. Getting this degree of information off a Tesla after it crashes is nearly impossible for the average driver.
Wait. apparently she was putting him in hats and stuff at early ages, so he's like chill with... He looks so sad though. Maybe he didn't get what he wanted for Christmas.
Tesla says they provide it, and it crashes at full speed. Getting this degree of information crash similar to Stephen Hendrickson's near Los Angeles in 2021. The journal obtained a rare set of raw data for the Tesla in this crash from an anonymous hacker. When a crashed pickup truck becomes visible on the road, one of the car's cameras sees it, but the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer, the Tesla doesn't recognize it, and it crashes at full speed. Getting this degree of information off a Tesla after it crashes is...
I don't want to simp for Elon ever. And I'm not fully aware of... dude, I would have to qualify the fuck out of this. As for how much like LLMs or how much AI learns in a similar manner that humans do, people take issue with saying that the learning is similar. And there's a whole theory of mind that goes into how we learn differently and if we learn differently and if the differences are actually different or not. But I will say that people will say things like, well, the problem with AI is that AI can only avoid situations it's seen before, but like not new things. Depending on what you're talking about, that's true for humans as well. Like if we see something totally new, it's also going to be difficult for us to figure out how to engage with it. Usually we're relying on things we've seen in the past. Now, I'm not arguing with Chad on this one because I don't give a fuck because I've driven more than all of you motherfuckers.
Near Los Angeles.
The reason why it's so important to drive with your headlights on at night is because even if you're not aware of it, or even if it doesn't seem like that big of a deal, it is very, 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 very hard to see things on the road at night without light on them. It might not seem like it, and if you have your headlights on, you might think you might be totally okay, but I would actually be pretty surprised if an ordinary driver, if he was paying attention, if just based on the camera footage I'm seeing, if he could have been okay here. Maybe I'm misinterpreting the tone of the video because the tone of the video makes it sound like the camera should have obviously picked it up and avoided it, and a human obviously would have avoided it. But I don't know. This is, hold on, let me.
The journal obtained a rare set of raw data for the Tesla in this crash from an anonymous hacker. When a crashed pickup truck becomes...
It crashed at full speed and a human would have at least slowed down. Maybe at the very end here, maybe, but...
visible on the road.
I don't know if a human driver is seeing this at all. And by this point here, bro, you're like seconds away from hitting it.
The car's camera sees it, but the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer...
And then at this point, it's like, fuck. LiDAR would have seen it? Yeah, maybe other forms of detecting stuff would have. So you can talk about like improving, improving obviously the auto detection and then auto braking and everything. But I don't know if a human is avoiding this. Also, this is insane. What the fuck is happening here? That there was a full-on fucking accident with none of the lights of the vehicle on, nobody standing around with a flashlight, no emergency services have showed up. Like, how long has this been here?
Sees it, but the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer, the Tesla doesn't recognize it, and it crashes at full speed. Getting this degree of information off a Tesla after it crashes is nearly impossible for the average driver. Tesla says they provide drivers with hundreds of data.
Weird that semi-truck headlights don't illuminate it either. So, I'm glad that you just bring this up, okay? Because we take everything for granted so much, okay? We take so many things for granted, all right? Signs on highways and the lights on the backs of cars and all the little dots on the road and the paint that we use to line the streets, all of these things are regulated and designed to be reflective. Like light works on these really well and it reflects it. It's not that light just naturally illuminates things so much that we can see everything. It's that a lot of the stuff that we drive with and drive, on, look, this is not normal. These aren't normal just like this is, I don't even think this is just normal white paint. And these reflectors on the road, like all of these things are designed to be super reflective, right?
Set of raw data for the Tesla.
Cars in the back are designed to be like reflective,
This crash
right?
from an anonymous hacker.
But the
when a crashed pickup truck becomes visible
the bottom of a car is not. And
on the road.
if this is just laying here, even with this truck's lights right here, the chances of you seeing this are slim to none. You'll also know this if you're driving at night in the Midwest, and I'm sure there are other driving examples that I'm not familiar with firsthand, but it is very, very, very hard to see deer, but it is very easy to see a deer when they look at you. And sometimes you can be driving and even be paying attention. Maybe you think you see something and then, whoa, shit, it looks at you. And then when the reflection in the eyes pops up, now you see it like super hardcore. And the eyes looking at you and the reflection of the deer eyes in your headlights is a million times more noticeable than just, than like the body of like an animal that doesn't reflect light very well. Yeah.
One of the car's cameras sees it, but the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer, the Tesla doesn't recognize.
I am shocked here. It would surprise me if like the state or city or whatever doesn't have some degree of liability or culpability here, because this is a serious crash. There must have been emergency services or somebody called here. Something must, I'm so curious what the end result was of who was ultimately held liable financially for this death here. If there was some kind of like suit against the state or the city. This is crazy that this is just in the fucking road at night. Was it recent? My guess is it wasn't, because there's no people here. There's no lights blinking. There's not like, usually something, if it was super recent, would be here. This must be, my guess is hours old, but that seems so impossible. Like, I don't know.
Recognize it, and it crashes at full speed. Getting this degree of information off a Tesla after it crashes is nearly impossible for the average driver. Tesla says they provide drivers with hundreds of data points with granularity down to the millisecond in a user-friendly format. But that information doesn't show the exact decisions.
Wait, there are people, but they fled when the car approached. You can see them run. Oh, wait, can you? Hold on.
But the other doesn't. Then, as the obstacle gets closer, the
Oh, pedestrian. Was there a person over there?
Tesla doesn't recognize it, and it crashes at full speed.
Oh, I can't tell, actually. I'm not sure.
Obstacle.
Is there like a news article about this? Or I wonder if it identified a person moving or going to run or not. Maybe, I don't know.
Tesla doesn't recognize it, and it crashes at full speed.
That was the other video. Might be referring to the previous video.
In one camera,
It can encounter significant challenges identifying obstacles.
Jump back to 249.
We can see this in when a Tesla in Autopilot failed to stop or yield for an obstacle in front of it.
Oh, yeah, this is a totally different video. Okay, all right.
User-friendly format. But that information...
You're not factoring in that cameras see things differently than the human eye. There was a Waymo crash here in Phoenix that killed a lady, and the road looked way darker on the Waymo camera. Cameras do see things differently than the human eye. That's true. And the human eye, like in some ways, will have better resolution. In some ways, we might have worse resolution. I don't mean like in the 1080p sense. I just mean in terms of like the things that we see and what we can pay attention to. I'm just saying that at night, as a rule of thumb, it is very, 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 very hard to see things that aren't meant to be lit or reflective, that are in a road, that are on the road, that are not like that shouldn't be there. That can be very, very, very hard to see. You need like I would probably say an inhuman or an unrealistic level of attention. Like even if you were driving at 55 or 60, I don't know if you could dodge every type of obstacle like that unless you were literally like eyes glued to the road, like 100% attention, like turn the radio down as you're driving the whole time. It's just very, very, very hard to see certain objects like that.
Doesn't show the exact decisions Autopilot made. Those details need to be extracted from the car's internal computer.
A Tesla is pretty much a computer on wheels.
I mean, that's like every car, right? I mean, what?
Work on salvage Teslas, usually in accidents, wrecks. I've seen a lot of videos where it's captured a lot of the drivers being reckless. And I've seen videos where it gives you that question mark of like, how did that happen? And it makes you curious, like, was it the driver or was it the autopilot?
Oh, now we're on the baseless speculation part of the video. Okay. Isn't it deceptive to call it autopilot and cost cut to the bare minimum camera tech with no radar sensors? I mean, I would say so. I feel like it should just be, but he probably doesn't want to call it what the other shit is. And what it sounds like is it just sounds like a sophisticated version, or not even a sophisticated version. I'm sorry. It just sounds like lane assist with braking assistance or auto distance. I wish I could remember what it's called. I've only driven one car like this before. It was that Volvo when we were going up skiing, and it had like a lane assist, and it had a I don't know what they called it, but it would automatically brake to maintain distance and control your speed for the car in front of you. Like that's what it would do, which sounds basically like what the adaptive cruise control. Yeah, it sounds like that's basically what the Tesla does.
The video only tells part of the story.
That's why I was saying before, calling it autopilot, but then having the car say, keep your hands on the wheel, keep your hands on the wheel, keep your hands. It's like, sounds like customers are probably going to engage with it like they would expecting it to be an autopilot thing, right? That'd be my guess. I'm gonna Red Bull, hold on. Wait, let me use the restroom there, 1 second.
The data on the car's computer gives a fuller picture.
The computers, they all report data and link to Tesla mothership. And we have the...
This is the topic that keeps coming up. Isn't the overarching... Is it overarching or overarching? I think it's... Isn't the issue, the problem in the US with a lack of consumer protection against such marketing? Maybe, yeah. I don't know how they're allowed to market it like this. I'm not sure. I'm sure that must have been challenged in court somewhere, I would guess, but... At Destiny, you cannot visually inspect camera data to understand what the computer can see, especially a YouTube video of the video. Just because something is dark on your screen doesn't mean the data isn't there. All the chatters talking about the camera being dark know nothing about cameras. That is actually completely true. There is, but the explanation for that is complicated. But yes, actually cameras can capture really high amounts of dynamic range that might not actually show up on the screen, might not even show up on the camera screen. But I think I was just talking about in general seeing things at night, but yeah. Destiny, regarding consumer protections, people confuse full self-driving and typical assisted driving. Even people who own the cars are confused by the difference, and Tesla probably doesn't want to aggressively clarify the difference because it sells cars. Yeah, I agree. But anytime you call something autopilot, I'm going to assume it drives itself. Like my assumption, if you say my car is autopilot, I'm assuming it can go from like one parking spot to the next. Like it can, like I can set it from my home to work and it could just do the whole journey. That would be my assumption in hearing it. I mean, like obviously as a reasonable person that has an understanding of the technology, I'd assume it probably can't do that yet. But just in hearing the term, that would be my assumption. The video said that the data specifically was obtained by a hacker. It showed all the data. I'm talking about visual data, not just, I'm just saying that. Just trust me on this one, okay?
Computer.
Diaz sends Autopilot computers he doesn't need across the country to a hacker who then extracts the information. Janelle Hendrickson has not been able to get data from her husband's car. Her lawyers requested it over a year ago. Tesla says they're in the process of gathering it.
It's actually been really difficult to get any information about this. We know that Tesla themselves has all the video and all the information, but they will not share it.
One thing that's not reflected in the car.
Somebody else has different footage. Oof. That's brutal, dude. I'm so curious what was this? Like, how is this just sitting here? Apparently there's a guy behind the truck with a flashlight. If you read below. Did you mean to say flashlight? The truck was seen by both the radar and also could be clearly observed by the narrow camera from quite a distance away. Pictures spaced 1 second apart. In fact, it was when I reviewed the narrow cam footage, I saw there's a guy with a flashlight behind the truck. I hope they were not hurt and ran away as fast as they could. The footage is pretty interesting to apply current and ends to. And I hope I can talk someone in cooperating on this part to see HW3 detection. There's supposed to be different types of detecting stuff. Neural net, gotcha.
Car's data is the driver's confidence in the technology.
He trusted that autopilot, obviously, with his life. He trusted it with my kids' lives. He said that it let him be a little bit less worried when he was driving so much. He'd leave about 3 a.m. to get to work by 6 all over SoCal.
If the cars do a pretty good job, not perfect, but pretty good, we...
Wait, what was this?
To get to work worried when he was driving so much. He'd leave about 3 a.m. to get to
Love coming down the hill before 2:30 a.m. with just about no one
work
most days.
by 6 all over SoCal.
If the cars do a pretty good job, not perfect, but pretty good.
People are calling this guy retarded, but like if you use a thing and it's fucked and it works for a long time, like people will continue to use the thing. This is just ordinary consumer behavior, and every single consumer will behave this way. Like if there's a thing and it works, even if it's not supposed to, people will use it this way. And then when it doesn't work or when it breaks, people will get upset. That's just like, that's super ordinary consumer behavior. Like that's, you have to plan around that. Like you have to design around that.
Good. We develop a false sense of trust in them. And this overconfidence it's both coming from the levers of the tech, but it's also coming from the top down.
The Model S and Model X at this point can drive autonomously with greater safety than a person.
We've gone over this multiple times, like, are we sure we have the right sensor suite? Should we add anything more? No.
The car currently drives me around Austin most of the time with no interventions.
The Department of Justice is investigating Tesla for its marketing of Autopilot. Tesla disputes claims they misled the public about the car's capabilities. Janelle Hendrickson's case against Tesla is set to go to trial in 2025.
People are still going to buy Tesla. They're still going to support Elon Musk. Doesn't matter how many accidents there are. But at least understand your car and understand your car's capability before you just put your entire life behind that.
Computer vision is such a deeply flawed technology, and we're not doing enough to determine how to fix its gaps and how to make it recognize objects. I look into my crystal ball, what do I see coming? I see that having the car do most of the driving for you and requiring you to pay attention to make sure nothing bad happens, I don't think this is going to be a long-term technology that we're going to keep in the cars.
We'll get there eventually.
On 1,100 acres in the middle of the Arizona desert.
No one cares. Oh no.
Is the future of the auto industry autonomous? Are these things really going to be a reality?
A Tesla car next year will probably be 90% capable of autopilot. Like, so 90% of your miles could be on auto. For sure highway travel. So we're probably only a month away from having autonomous driving, at least for highways and for relatively simple roads. My guess for when we'll have full autonomy is about 3 years.
3 years?
Approximately 3 years.
If you think about fully autonomous vehicles, which have passed through regulatory approvals, have passed through in-city driving and traffic conditions, how far do you think from a time frame perspective we are for that becoming reality?
Particularly highways that are that have barriers so that you don't have pedestrians. That's also relatively easy, and like a Model S and Model X at this point can drive autonomously with greater safety than a person right now.
Yeah. My point is, when does it get to be where you don't need to be sitting behind a vehicle? I can have my 75-year-old mother who doesn't speak any English or doesn't drive be able to be transported from point A to point B by just sitting in a car by herself and being taken.
I think we're basically less than 2 years away from complete autonomy. I think we're still on track for being able to go cross country from LA to New York by the end of the year, fully autonomous.
Okay, so a car, by the end of the year, you're saying someone's going to sit in a Tesla without touching the steering wheel, tap in New York, off it goes.
Yeah.
Won't have to ever touch the wheel by the end of 2017.
Yeah, essentially November or December of this year, we should be able to go from, all the way from a parking lot in California to a parking lot in New York. No controls touched at any point during the entire journey.
We'll see this also with self-driving. I think probably by end of next year, self-driving will encompass essentially all modes of driving and be at least 100 to 200% safer than a person by the end of next year. We're talking like maybe 18 months from now. 3 steps to self-driving. There's being feature complete, then there's being feature complete to the degree that where we think that the person in the car does not need to pay attention, and then there's being at a reliability level where we've also convinced regulators that is true.
So the fact that a human may, some percent of the population may exhibit a vigilance decrement will not affect the overall statistics numbers of safety.
No, in fact, I think it will become very, very quickly, maybe even towards the end of this year, but I'd be shocked if it's not next year at the latest, that having a human intervene will decrease safety. So there's 3 levels. We expect to be feature complete in self-driving this year, and we expect to be confident enough from our standpoint to say that we think people do not need to touch the wheel, look out of the window sometime probably around, I don't know, second quarter of next year. And then we start to expect to get regulatory approval, at least in some jurisdictions, for that towards the end of next year. We're going to do the robotaxi thing too. Only criticism, and it's a fair one, and sometimes I'm not on time, but I get it done. The fundamental message that consumers should be taking today is that it's financially insane to buy anything other than a Tesla.
We're extremely confident of achieving full autonomy and releasing it to the Tesla customer base next year.
And we are discussing level 5 autonomy, so really full autonomy.
Based on your current understanding, how hard do you think this full self-driving problem, when do you think Tesla will solve level 4 FSD?
I mean, it's looking quite likely that it will be next year.
How hard is it as a problem to solve? Because you've made predictions in the past about autonomy. Some of those haven't come to fruition at the same time. Has your understanding of the problem of autonomy changed over the last few years?
Yes. I would say that self-driving is one of those things where you think you're getting there, but then you end up asymptoting. Your progress is initially linear and then looks logarithmic and sort of tapers off. Now at this point, I think we are no longer trapped in a local maximum, and it appears, my best guess is that we will get there this year.
I think Tesla will have sort of a ChatGPT moment. Maybe if not this year, I'd say no later than next year.
Wait, say that again. I'm sorry. You're going to have a
sort of ChatGPT moment.
Oh, you will. In terms of suddenly it will.
Yeah, suddenly 3 million cars will be able to drive themselves with no one. We'll move from supervised full self-driving to unsupervised full self-driving, where the car, you could fall asleep and wake up at your destination. You can think of it like individualized mass transit. We do expect actually to start fully autonomous, unsupervised FSD in Texas and California next year. That's with the Model 3 and Model Y. We expect to be in production with the Cybercab in probably, well, I tend to be a little optimistic with timeframes. But in 2026, before 2027, let me put it that way.
Wow.
I'm no saint.
Who was in the wrong here?
Is she being denied boarding?
Yes.
Okay. So she ready
Did we watch parts of this already?
on the plane?
She just ran. She's not boarded. I didn't board her.
Is she on the jet bridge or is she on the plane?
She's somewhere over there with the supervisor.
Is she over there? Another day.
So towards the boarding, she just kind of ran past everybody and, to security brings.
She being denied?
Correct, yeah.
We her all the way inside the aircraft. Yes,
so
it's
once
a
I
security.
told her, but she's very irate sitting down there in the purple shirt. We'll give her a refund.
Oh dear. Ma'am? Hey, can we go up there and talk, please, so we can...
No, I cannot. I want my bag off this plane.
9-2, can I get an airside?
I cannot. I want my bag off this plane.
9-2, can I get an airside?
I need my bread. You didn't let me board. You're not going to give me a refund. You're not going to send me out.
We're going to give you a refund. So, ma'am, can we go up there and talk at the counter so they can work on the computer to get you a refund? Ma'am, we have to clear this jet bridge so they can take off. So, what's going on? Right now, this jet bridge, are you guys in control of it, or is Go in control?
It's still federal property, but as of right now, we have our team here, so technically Spirit's operating on the ship.
Okay. Do you guys want to press charges for trespass after warning? Good.
I don't think Spirit would want to do that. She breached the jet bridge without scanning. She ran it.
Oh, so she didn't scan.
No,
She's not standing
right
on
now,
it, then
she's
we're not
already
even sure that this is
Yeah.
All right, ma'am, can you fill me in on what's going on? I'm ready to get on the plane. She gonna tell me I can't get on the plane. I've been sitting there all day long. Okay. I do not want to go back on no other plane. I gotta be up at 12:20 in the morning. Do you have an ID on you? Because they're not even sure if you are who you say you are. Do you have ID on you? All I have is a passport. A passport is fine. Can I see your passport?
You guys can't take off until this is clear, right?
Correct. We cannot disconnect the jet bridge with her in here because she could get injured.
So the reason why this is coming about is because they said you came and went past them onto the jet bridge without showing your ticket. It's a lie. I think they know what I got if I didn't show my ticket. She didn't even see my ticket. They know it's right there. They're willing to take care of you, but you can't stay here. Because right now you haven't committed a crime technically. We're not involved yet. I don't want us to become involved because now if we become involved, that means giving me a refund money is not on the same day. It's not going to give me back to the
No, the manager just told you. Did you just not tell her that you would try to book up another flight, or am I?
Not today.
Not
Based
today,
on the
okay.
circumstances, not today. But we will give her a refund so she can look at other areas.
I have to go to work and sweat, please. So here's the thing.
You have to do this stupid fucking the FinCEN filing bullshit now, right? Okay, never mind. I'm doing my end of year payroll shit.
Like I said, I don't.
Oh, this lady might be I wonder if she has like mental illness or whatever.
I have to go to work and sweat, please. So here's the thing. Like I said, I don't want you to end up being.
I feel like she might be trying to sneak into a plane that she shouldn't be in. It doesn't feel like that. I feel like she would be acting differently, or she would be, I don't know how to explain it. These don't feel like the actions of somebody trying to sneak onto the plane. It feels like somebody who's having a mental health issue or whatever.
Being from the airport. I'm trying to tell her that I'll refund her myself. I don't want her to have to go through another bigger process and then have more problems.
All right, let's get her taken care of.
I'm gonna refund her.
Okay.
Fucking fast. But you're gonna refund her here, right?
So they already did the refund. So if you want, we can go ahead and ask.
That's fine.
We can go ahead and make that.
I think I got temporarily suspended on December 3rd, so it's not in effect at the moment. Wait, does that mean you can just skip filing this, or? I don't say that anyway.
Because they secured my body and I stuck out.
No, but that's not the only option. You have other options.
No, I don't, because you just gave me a refund that's going to take 3 to 5 days. All I have is $200 cash. I cannot find a last-minute flight to get back to Dallas. Okay, well, take me to jail. They secure my safety and secure my body. This is the only way I can feel safe. I don't know nothing about your state. I don't know how to get back home.
So she wants to what? She wants to go to jail. She's refusing to leave. And I explained.
I'm not sweating. Now you have to worry about a bond. How are you going to get out with a bond?
I'm going to get out. Hold on. I was secure.
Like I can't say because I haven't seen all the footage, but just in dealing with a lot of drunk people and dealing with a lot of crazy people and in dealing with a lot of entitled people, like generally somebody who's like a piece of shit, like super entitled person, or is trying to just do some sneaky shit is going to be way more like aggressive in terms of like attacking the other people or shooting on the other people or blaming the other people. This person just seems like they're having like a breakdown. But maybe some stuff is cut, or maybe she will in the video do something different. But it doesn't. This person just seems like they're having like a breakdown. especially centering so much like on herself with what she's saying. Like, rather than like, she fucked me over, this bitch did this, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, like, I don't have the money for this, or I can't do this, or I don't know, blah, blah. Like, it seems like she's just having a breakdown.
How are you going to get out with the phone?
I would get out.
Hold on.
I would secure my safety. I'm in a state by myself that I don't know nothing about.
Ma'am, we're right here. Just talk to us right here. You don't have to yell. Well, as of right now, they are refunding your money, okay?
It don't go back
Can
on
you
the
stop for a
store.
second?
It's
Can you stop for a second? All we have to do is go back to the land.
Daddy, I'd rather go to jail at her because this is crazy. I don't got nowhere to go and they keeping me in here.
Just leave.
I found a Greyhound bus. That's still 500 something damn dollars. Everything $500.
Can I talk to him for you?
That's why I told him to do the rest meeting. They told me it's different options. No, it's not. I'm in the state by myself.
She could literally just leave. Yeah, but the issue is that if you're not like financially well off and you're traveling and you have like a ticket back to your house, this is like a slingshot around the moon to come home. And if you miss it, you're just like floating in the solar system, like completely fucked. Because she probably doesn't have a ton of extra money. Like a hotel room is $100+ that she probably doesn't have. It could be a day off work. It could be like there's a whole bunch of other fees and shit that buying a new ticket, like all of this is probably going to be a really bad time if you're not financially equipped to deal with it. So what should they do? Just let her on the plane? I mean, like, it sounds like the plane probably already left, would be my guess at this point. She ran past the ticket counter, which is a big no-no, right? Like, you would expect to be ejected from the airport and maybe arrested. I don't know, for something like that. But I mean, it's obvious she's having some kind of like mental health crisis. So I mean, what should they do? I mean, I don't know. She probably shouldn't be traveling alone, would be my guess. But I mean, I guess, I mean, like, ideally in this situation, the airline or the airport in conjunction with the airline, or the cops in conjunction with the airport, you find another airline to just basically find a way to send her home, right? Destiny, who travels without emergency funds? Nobody, dude, my bad. Everybody has an emergency savings fund in case they get stuck in some place and need to spend $1,000 being in another state for a day. Big D, I shirked an hour of work to watch the test episode. As a longtime CT fan and recent Destiny fan, just wanted to say great job. Easily one of the best episodes I've put on in a while. Thanks, buddy.
Do the rest meeting. They told me it's different options. No, it's not. I'm in the state by myself and I don't know where I'm at.
Can I speak to him? Is it okay?
They should probably stop trying to treat her like a rational person that can be reasoned with. She's 100% having an episode and will only rack up charges if they let it go on. Yeah, maybe, yeah. I don't know what the training is that cops, like, my expectation would be that a police officer should very intuitively know. And actually, I think these guys actually probably do know. Like, a police officer should be able to tell pretty quickly, like, is this person like trying to get some weird shit on, or is this person like having a breakdown? And it seems like the cops are being like pretty gentle. Like, I haven't heard them like threaten to arrest her or whatever. This like getting in your face and telling you to like calm down, her like, now you have to worry about a bond. I don't know why this person said this. This is fucking stupid.
How are you going to get out with the phone?
I would get out.
Hold on.
I would secure my safety. I'm in the state by my.
But I mean, like, compared to what cops sometimes are like, they seem fairly chill, but.
I'm in the state by myself and I don't know.
He's telling her the facts of the situation. If you are emotionally compromised, especially if you have a mental illness and you're emotionally compromised, getting the facts of a situation doesn't matter. That's not relevant. The most important thing is to bring your emotional state in line. You have to calm down. Until the person is calmed down, you can't, you shouldn't be trying to reason or rationalize or whatever, or present facts, right? You have to get somebody to calm down, and then once they're calm, then they can assess the situation better. No, she said she wants to go to jail. The cop is saying she doesn't want to go to jail because she won't be able to pay bond to get out. Okay, maybe that's what the cop was just wanting to do. Yeah, okay. How would you calm her down, though? I don't know. I'm not a specialist in calming people with mental illness down. I'm not sure. Probably ask her if she wants something to eat, go to a restaurant and get some food and get her a soda, and then just like sit and chat with her for a little bit, and probably reassure her that you'll figure out how to get her back home tonight. Something along those lines, just to get her to like come back to like a rational state of mind. And then for people like this, I think it's probably important to ask if, like, do you have a person that you trust that like we can call and have a conversation with? Because if she has a person that she's used to talking to, that they can talk to, then it's an easy person, an intermediary to communicate with, that she might feel more safe taking instruction or direction or advice from.
Can I speak to him? Is it okay?
The emergency number, that's 911.
Yes, I need the police. This is the police.
We are the police.
Why did you not? But you're not taking me to jail because I'm in a state that I don't know where to go, and I'm telling you to take me to jail, and you're not listening.
We're trying to help you out.
I'm by myself.
Ma'am, we are the
Does she have two phones? Or
police. Please do not call the police again. Okay?
Can you just gather your stuff and we'll go ahead and walk to the main terminal?
I'm not moving. Don't worry. I'm not moving. I don't have enough money. All I got is $200 cash and everything is $500 and up. My refund is coming 3 or 5 business days. You took my computer. You took my belongings already.
Destiny, isn't an airport relatively safe? I can understand being scared if you're stuck at the streets, but plenty of people stay in an airport for at least a day due to delays. I don't know who's memeing or who's like just spoiled rich or whatever. I can't tell. Being stuck in an airport is an incredibly stressful experience because especially if you expect to be home that night, 1, you might be missing the next day of work. 2, just sleeping in the airport is a miserable experience. 3, now you have to like eat food and like it's more expenses and everything else like on that night. That's just like a whole extra like slew of bullshit that you might not have been ready for to have to. It's not a fun experience to just be told that you have to like. Well, no, for me it's not a fun experience, but for somebody in like a worse financial situation, it might be like kind of a very, very, very bad experience. Yeah. What just happened here? Did she try to run?
It's already
Ready to arrest her. Is that?
Give me hands.
Wait, why? What changed? Hold on.
I have enough money. All I got is $200 cash and everything is $500 and up. My refund is coming 3 or 5 business days. You took my computer. You took my belongings already.
Okay. Give me hands. Give me hands.
You don't have to do all
Stop resisting.
Stop resisting. Give me your arm. I'm not resisting. Give me your arm. Give me your arm. Let me go and I'm going to let you. I'm going to put it on. Hey, I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on.
God damn it. Don't you bite me. Don't you bite me.
Because you're sitting up and grabbing me.
Don't you bite me.
I'm not resisting.
Stop resisting.
I'm not resisting. I'm grabbing me all kind of ways, Daddy.
Until we are done, do not move. Sit on your butt. Sit on your butt. On her butt.
Hey, I'm going to.
On your butt.
Hey.
Thank you very much.
I'm not even resisting. You don't got to do all of that. All you have to do, Sarah, ask me, can you put your hands behind your back?
Kick your legs out.
One of the things I've just never understood about cop training, there's got to be some explanation that I just don't get. Like if no, never mind. I understand. If a person is genuinely freaking the fuck out, no person in like this is the equivalent of telling a girlfriend or boyfriend that you're having a huge fight with, like, hey, you need to calm down. Never in the history of all of fights has that ever made somebody calm. It just never has. It's never, ever, ever, ever worked, right? And then same thing here where it's like, okay, this person's freaking out a little bit. Like if we 2-person tackle them and then handcuff them, like they'll chill. Like, no, probably not.
They still think they just take me to jail and they just did all this for nothing. So it can make it seem.
Like I could understand arresting her if she seemed like she was going to hurt herself or if she was going to run, but it didn't seem like either of those things were happening. It seems like she just needs to calm the fuck down.
And you're being recorded by people too.
I'm being recorded by.
Like I don't know why they like sneak arrested her. like she was about to do something, unless there's something off camera, like it didn't make any sense. There's nothing wrong with saying calm down though. It just doesn't do anything. And usually when you're saying calm down, for cops, usually they're telling you to calm down in conjunction with actions that are super escalating your emotional state. So like somebody pulling a gun, you'd be like, calm down, calm down, calm down. Or somebody like arresting you and grab you, like, calm down, you need to calm down. Like, okay. Like it usually just doesn't.
On my body camera.
Okay, so.
Stretch your leg out.
Okay.
I asked you several times to leave.
All I asked you to take me to jail. I can't go. I don't go nowhere. All you have to do, did I ask you I want to go to jail? I said, I can put my hands behind my back.
If you want to go to jail.
They can't wait for her all day. At some point, if she doesn't want to leave, they have to make her leave. They have other things to do. I am sure they could have a person here to like chill and just like chat with her for a little bit. Because this is going to be more dramatic. Because now you've got to you have to do a report. I'm sure somebody's going to have to watch her the whole time. Like this is probably going to end up being more work than like if she already, if this was already going on for a long time, she was causing a big disturbance in the boarding area. After a while of the conversation going nowhere, it was time to go in cuffs. Yeah, but why not like bring a person to like chat with them and like go somewhere else, right? Like I feel like there's two things also you have to consider about the situation. One is you see that it's it's just, not to be sexist, this is a woman, right? It's a woman. She's a small woman. And two, you're at an airport. She has no weapons at all. You know that. She's gone through security. There's no like backup coming to like, fuck any cops up or whatever. Like I feel like in this, especially like in a situation as sterile as this, you probably have a lot more leeway or flexibility to kind of like chill out than to just like go to the, I don't know.
Yeah, why were you resisting?
I didn't resist. You just did all that for nothing. You could say, ma'am. I said, ma'am, do you know what you just did? You slashed my...
Wait, did that cop just say they asked her several times to leave? I don't think we saw any of this, so it could be supercut. Maybe that, yeah. If they asked her several times to leave, the biggest thing that she might have been doing too is I think she kept calling 911, which is also technically a crime, but also that might be an escalating factor where it's like, okay, fuck, we have a person literally spamming 911 calls in the airport and it's causing a scene. But I would think I would have to see more camera footage, but I'm not sure.
My body cam.
Okay, thank you.
I gotta check my leg. She bit me pretty good.
Because you should not put your hands on nobody and like that. When you could have just said, ma'am, can you put your hands behind your back? And then if I said, no, I didn't want to do that, that would have been the resistance rate.
Welcome to Florida. Welcome to Florida.
That's how y'all do it.
That's not how we do that down here.
Okay, but why you didn't say?
I'm not explaining that to you.
I'm not being
I feel like the police in America are not trained for mental health issues. Probably not that well on average, would my guess. Destiny, bring who? Do you know they had APS social workers on standby? Didn't you have the opposite take on this around 2020? Cops are not trained to be social workers and it's unreasonable to expect them to be. You would have to show me my take on a particular thing. My guess is you're looking at a situation that wasn't even remotely comparable to this in an area that was completely and totally different. But I feel like in evaluating like her behavior and her actions up to this point, obviously I'm looking at a video, so it's a bit different too, but she just seems like somebody that's having like a mental health issue. It doesn't look like a person who's like acting specifically malicious or something like that. That's what it seems to be. Also, warning, if you're here and you really like my takes on this issue, fuck you. I'm generally very pro-cop, and I think most of you should get your ass whipped, okay, if you're doing retarded and stupid shit, okay? So be aware of that if you're watching this, you're like, wow, this guy has some great takes on cops. I don't, and I will trigger the fuck out of you, because I'm generally pro-cop, because I think most of you guys are fucking around and finding out, and I think cops do need to give more ass whippings to dipshits in the streets, okay, and in your homes, and in front of your computer games, and in your lands, okay? So keep in mind. Doesn't the fact that she's having a mental health issue warrant an arrest even more? No, I don't think so, because she doesn't seem like she's like wiling out or like attacking anybody, or like I said, like you're in an airport, so you know she doesn't have any weapons on her, or no knives, no guns, so that's a nice thing immediately. And two, she doesn't seem like she's erratic in a way where she's like trying to hurt herself or hurt other people. She just seems like she's like having like a little bit of a breakdown, you know?
Where did she bite you at? Why are you biting my officer?
Because he grabbed my face and messed it down, officer.
So you boarded.
Like, this is stupid. Like, this guy, and I don't know who's been informed. Like, if he hasn't been informed, then it's I would say the officers are fucking up. If he asked him, he's fucking up. But like everybody here is engaging with her like she's a rational human being that is just rationally processing everything right now. But it doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like she's somebody having like a mental breakdown. So he's about to come in here and treat her like she's like a perp who's like just fucking around.
Plane without a ticket. He calls. Let me finish. You board a plane without a ticket. He calls all this chaos. These officers come out here polite, professional, and courteous, and then you turn around and fight with this officer when he's out here trying to be professional with you. Not making sense, man.
How things have escalated, I do need to inform.
They were very patient here, don't you agree? Yeah, the cops were very patient, but they were patient if she was just like an ordinary rational person, but it doesn't seem like she is. It feels like somebody who probably has assistance in other parts of their life or has some type of like complicating like mental health thing going on. That's what it looks like to me, at least.
Yeah, you can talk from here, it's fine. He's going to tell right here and just let her know.
With everything that's happened after we gave you the refund with the officers, I just need to let you know that you will be going on the Spirit.
Yeah, she just got me
pretty sure you will not be able to fly with Spirit Airlines ever again.
Thank you. All right, we're going to get her to her car. Let's go. Ready?
All right, ma'am. Stand up, ma'am.
No, she won't walk. She said she's going to walk. If she don't walk, I'm going to spray her.
Is that do not. Let's go down.
I'm not really existing. I'm asking what's in my stove.
We're going to go this way. You got a lot of questions for someone who breaks the law.
I'm asking, is that my brown bag? Can you get my stuff out of me?
So what made you think you could board the plane without a ticket?
I got a ticket.
How
It's
come
in
you
there.
didn't scan the ticket?
I scanned it.
Oh, you're on the
lady
camera?
with the curly hair.
Well, really, you're on the camera, not scanning your ticket.
That's nothing.
Let's go.
Ticket.
How come
It's
you
in
didn't,
there.
how come you didn't scan the ticket?
I scanned it.
Oh, you're on the
lady
camera?
with the curly hair.
Well, really, you're on the camera, not scanning your ticket.
That's nothing.
Let's go.
I will walk. You don't have to.
You have to hold you. It's per policy. You have to hold you. We control you.
What airport is this? Is this like Orlando or something, or Tampa? I have no idea what airport this is.
Listen on. You don't have to pay that time.
Orlando?
I'm a
Oh,
man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't hold like a woman. Is that okay?
I'll do what you say.
Okay, good. Okay, straight this way.
All she had to do is leave.
Leave and go where?
Doesn't matter. You're an adult. You figure it out.
Now, being in an airport is already stressful enough. Hey everyone, I'm John, and I sincerely appreciate you for watching. Now, with more than 45,000 flights a day, police never know when they'll be called to deal with stressful situations. Now, this behavior among air travelers is more prevalent than you think, and I've removed people from stores, hospitals, and other businesses, but this is unique because preventing a plane from taking off can potentially bring serious charges. Now, every day, millions of people pass through airports, and sometimes things don't go as planned. Passengers can get unruly due to missed flights or long delays, so the calm atmosphere in an airport can suddenly shift. Imagine this, you're in line ready to board, and then this happens. Now, in this case out of Florida, we have a woman in an airport who runs past everyone, doesn't present her boarding pass, and she literally makes it all the way inside the plane, but ends up sitting down on the jet bridge, which is clearly not allowed. Now, airport staff attempts to intervene along with police, and they try to explain to the woman her available options. And keep in mind that she's hindering the plane from taking off. And of course, they cannot disconnect the jet bridge with the woman inside. And they eventually get her to exit the bridge, but she continues to yell and not follow the command to the officers to leave. And once the officers arrest her, as she wanted, she chooses to resist arrest and actually bites one of the officers. So now she has an assault on an LEO. But the officers did a great job staying calm until they had to handle business. And like many cities across the United States, the Philadelphia Police Department has its own airport unit, and they patrol both the inside and the outside of the terminals, being a visible deterrent to crime and keeping travelers safe. So when you're in an airport and a disturbance erupts, remember to follow the instructions of airport staff and police and do your best to turn a stressful situation into some unexpected downtime. Remember to stay alert, be aware of your surroundings, looking for possible distress in other travelers, and notify police or airport staff if you need to. That's all I have for today, guys. Remember to be safe, and I'll see you on the next one.
Tiffany was charged with battery, resisting with and without violence, disorderly conduct, and trespass after warning. She is innocent.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
Unless proven guilty in a court of law. Conduct and
You get hit with both of these? Resisting officer with violence and without violence? Bro, how can you charge? Damn. Maybe you just charge down the line or whatever, and then if you convict on one, you don't on the other? Jesus. If you're incapable of navigating through daily life, stay home, don't travel. I would say that if you are sending somebody who has like mental health issues like this, traveling, they probably, if they're not accompanied, then like the airport should be made aware, or they should have some type of special arrangement made, or some type of person that they can call or something like that, because you are running a huge risk in just sending somebody, you know, on their own like this and hoping for the best. But I'm really curious about her 2 phone situation. But if she kept saying she only had $200, but it was rational, isn't she supposed to use a credit card to buy a new ticket anyway and clear your balance when the refund comes in? She might have been maxed on her cards. She might not have had a credit card. She might have only had debit cards. Like, who the fuck knows? I don't know. Your subreddit was very divided on this. Oh boy. How many takes? I need to just get all the takes my audience hates me the most for. What is it on? We have healthcare, we have housing, and
Where do
cops.
you live at?
I feel like these are the 3 most. I shouldn't even say controversial. It's just the one that my audience sides against me the most on.
Where do you